Welcome to my top 10 Jedi video this week. I took a little bit of a hiatus around the holidays. I just needed a break and I needed to recharge. This was kind of burning me out. But I'm back and we're going to work on top 10 Jedi and we'll get your feedback at the end. Cool? Thank you. At number 10, we have the controversial Rey Skywalker. So Rey is one of these picks where it's like you either love her or hate her because she's so powerful, and being the Emperor's granddaughter, people get kind of ticked off about why she's so powerful. And there's never been this real true explanation of how she just became such power. So I get it, but I think Daisy Ridley was great. So I have no issues with Rey. I mean, out of all the things that I think personally Disney's done with Star Wars, I can't really knock it because I feel as though if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even have a Star Wars. And I really do like the Rey character, and I'm excited to see where she goes in the future. At number 9, we have one of my personal mysterious favorites, Quinlan Voss. Uh, Quinlan Voss didn't make it to live action very well. There is a name drop in the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. There is also a brief moment of his appearance in The Phantom Menace, but you really have to pay attention to even see him. He's a super popular character in the comic books and the Clone Wars series.
Good? Kenobi, you look worse for wear.
You've read the novel Dark Disciple. There's a true, really good story with him and Asajj Ventress. They fall in love, and he turns to the dark side, and it's just a good story. But like I said, he's one of those Jedis that everybody wants to see more of. He was fun, sporadic. He had that twist of the dark side, and he's very mysterious. He's one I would like to see in live action. At number 8, we have one of my all-time alien favorites, the guy I really would love to cosplay as, Kit Fisto. Oh, Kit Fisto with his legendary smile as he does a force push. He's the aesthetic look of Kit Fisto is so damn good.
That power will only consume you.
You can definitely pull his backstory more from the Clone Wars, and you can definitely get more scenes from him in the Clone Wars cartoon. I just think his aesthetic look and the look with the dreadlock tentacles and his character are just really, really good. He's one of my favorites. I had to pre-order the figure when they announced it. He's super cool. I really like him. At number 7, we have the badass himself, Mace Windu.
Master Windu, how pleasant of you to join us. This party's over.
I mean, say what you want about Mace Windu. His tactics and the way he did things could have been questioned, but he was aggressive. And he made the character, Samuel L. Jackson, was very determined the way he did stuff. He had a rhyme and reason to it.
Master Windu. I take it General Grievous has been destroyed then. I must say you're here sooner than expected.
In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you are under arrest, Chancellor.
I mean, you can say what you want about him. I still think, and I think everybody agrees, he had Sidious Palpatine beat. If Anakin doesn't jump in and turn to the dark side, he's done. So he was definitely the better fighter. It's still questionable of why him and Yoda were so blind to what happened, but Mace Windu himself is a really good character, very intriguing. I would like to see more of a backstory of the younger years on live action of Mace Windu. I think it'd be really cool. And yeah, bring Samuel L. Jackson back in some shape or form. Just don't let him survive, lol. At number 6, we have the woman that is not a Jedi, Ahsoka Tano.
You thought you could get away?
You're not much of a challenge, youngling. I got you right where I want you.
Ahsoka Tano is such a compelling and interesting character, and everyone got kind of attached to where she was going. I think the two actresses that played her, Ashley Epstein and Rosario Dawson, did such a good job. You see Epstein, the way she just the character grows from like a child into an adult, and you can see the voice changing as she does it, and the character and the persona. And then Dawson, when she takes over, she just makes it live action just so good. Like she just fits the character very well. There's a lot you could say about Ahsoka. I love her facial expressions in live action, Rosario Dawson. So perfect, just so good. I'm not sure how I felt about the Ahsoka series. I was super excited about it when it came out. I really love the character. I love what Ashley Epstein did with the character and how she just kind of grew. But when the show came out, I didn't, I was very intrigued with it, but the middle, towards the end, it just kind of threw me a loop. I really liked the whole, Balin Skull and Shin Hati, like, scenes and story. And I think Rosario Dawson, she nails the character, but the story had a little bit to be kind of questioned. But all in all, Ahsoka Tano is just an amazing character. At number 5, we have my questionable pick of the video. Yes, there's always one, Master Soul from The Acolyte.
Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. Connect to the Force.
I really, really, really liked Master Soul. I thought, and forgive me if I pronounce his name wrong, but Lee Young Ja was perfect. Like he just was so good at the role, and he learned English for the role, and he was one of my highlights of this. Like I can put him up next to Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. I felt very good with this character. He was very conflicted, and I really, really liked him. And I thought his portrayal of him was just spot on, so good. I don't want to get into the debate about the Acolyte. I enjoyed it. I thought Chimere and Soul were really good. There was parts, yeah, that I questioned. But anyway, off the topic, I really felt Master Soul was a very deep character. They could have maybe sewed up his backstory a little bit easier than the way they did it, but he was a very conflicted guy, always trying to, help people in his own weird way. He's just a very deep character, and I like his character, and I think he's a very unique Jedi. At number 4, we have Yoda.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yoda is probably the best Jedi out of all of the Jedi when it comes to like my favorites. I love Yoda, but he's a complicated character. Funny, mysterious, kind of a liar too.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yoda is the wisest of all Jedi. He has one-liners and quotes that are just, to this day, everybody follows. You can't knock Yoda for his wisdom, but you can definitely knock Yoda for not seeing the plot the entire time. But hey, it's Star Wars, so what can you say? At number 3, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I feel like he's one of the top Jedis on my list. We have two great actors that played him, the late Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. I love how Ewan McGregor just took all the, he studied Alec Guinness and took all the mannerisms and just nailed the character. People today know, they know Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, where I grew up on Alec Guinness and then the Force Ghost, and it just different time period, but both actors nailed it.
Protecting someone.
There are so many good one-lining quotes by Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I love that fight with Darth Maul. So Obi-Wan, he's definitely kind of a victim of the whole plot, attaching himself to Anakin and listening to Qui-Gon and trying to train him and raise him and the fate that happens and the turn to the dark side by Anakin and Obi-Wan having to deal with it. I like the Obi-Wan series. I don't understand all the hate for it, but um, maybe I just like Obi-Wan as a character quite a bit. But he's a complicated character, but he's very basic. He's very good. So it's it's a very good character. At number two, we have the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker.
This is where the fun begins.
I mean, you can say what you want about Hayden Christensen, but he's Darth Vader to me. He is Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, and he's damn good at it. And I really enjoyed his performance. I think Anakin Skywalker is a compelling character because he is twisted by his feelings for Padme, and it really does blind his judgment.
I have brought peace and security to my new empire.
Your new empire?
Anakin Skywalker is very deep with his meanings, and if you been or have been in strong relationships, you understand kind of his fear of losing someone. You understand his twisted thinking, which I think we can relate to. I really liked his little segments he had with Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series. I think it gave Hayden Christensen a nice return, and I'd like to see more of him in Clone Wars scenes like that. Like bring us in Clone Wars with him and Hayden Christensen. I think that would be awesome. I really liked Anakin Skywalker. Yes, he's conflicted, but in the end, it worked itself out. And my number one should be no surprise to anybody. My all-time favorite Jedi, Luke Skywalker. I grew up on Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. He was my idol. He was the guy when we would play in the snow I wanted to be. He was the guy that was able to pull the lightsaber from the iced cave. He was the guy that could control the Force. He was the guy everybody on my street wanted to be. Luke Skywalker is just such a badass character, and if you're anything like me, you have a problem with The Last Jedi. So I did not like how they portrayed him. I agree with everything Mark Hamill said. This wasn't Luke Skywalker, but I think The Mandalorian redeemed him, and I think if we got a little bit more story to him and his craziness, then maybe we could accept him. But Luke is like a symbol. He's such a symbol of good and learning and the teenage youth turning into something wise and powerful. I love Luke Skywalker. I remember being a kid and just grabbing the book in the library and was Return of the Jedi and just how he saved all his friends. I just always liked Luke Skywalker and I always will. There definitely should be some honorable mentions. I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn, I just felt like I never got enough of him to know him. Um, I dig Aya Sakura, but the same situation with her. There wasn't much story for her. I mean, there's Plo Koon. There's so many more I could have added, but that's it. That's my top 10. Hope you guys enjoyed it and leave your comments. Thank you.